Knows It All, episode 15. Stand up. That's right, boy. That's right, boy. Your boy C's back at it again. Week 15, 1-5. That's right, baby. Welcome, everybody. Happy to be here on this beautiful, sunny Tuesday afternoon here in sunny Southern California with my bro, Matty. Boy, Matty, come in the shot right quick. Handsome guy right here. All right, looking good.
What's going on, everyone?
All right, man. We're pumped to be here. What's up, man? Which one is that? What's going on? Yeah.
I just wanted to say I'm excited. Thank you for having me here as a special guest in the 1-2s.
You got
Thank
it,
you
dog.
so much.
You're doing a great job, big dog. Shout out to Hank too. Hank out there still on vacation. Everybody wants to know what's up with Hank. He's still on vacation. He'll be back pretty soon, man. Shouts to him and his whole family touring this beautiful country, man. Today we're gonna have a special guest on today. My boy Marlon D. He's a real dope guy, man. He's a podcaster. He's a rapper. He's an OG in the game, man. He's just a cool cat. You guys will get to know him more later on. Big shout out to everybody that was at the podcast pit last night. I was at the podcast pit. That's something that we put on here with TGN. The Good News Radio puts on. It's a bunch of podcasts coming together, man. So we saw a lot of cool people. It was awesome, man. Shout out to the Los Primos Chidos who put on a great show right there, man. You guys did great. I think the IE girls, All Black Everything podcast, they did a dope show too. The guy who was singing, it was all dope, man. It was a great show, man. So shout out to everybody out there, man. So it was super dope. And today's show is brought to you, like always, by everything La Suprema related. Let me get up there. Bam. South Central America. That's our album. That's our brand. Check it out. Check out our music. You'll love it. All right. So here we go, man. So I'm going to get right into today's monologue. Today's monologue, like I usually like to do, man, it's something that's kind of been in the news, man, and it's something that I want to give my opinion on, right? And it's just like, I usually like to give my how I kind of see things, right? And it's the idea of the great replacement, okay? That's been in the news, right? The idea of the great replacement. It seems to be something that supposedly white folks are kind of scared about, right? That we're going to come here and be the great replacement, right? But you know what I say, man? You know what? If it is going to be us Latinos, right? Because people say that's what mongers them or whatever. First and foremost, this is not like a Latino plot. Like there's not something that we talk about. Like we don't think in that way in manners. As far as like I've been to the Latino meetings and I haven't heard anybody talking about that. Right? It's not our plot to come here. Right? If anything, we come here, we want to be American, right? For the most part, right? But you know what? There's no better candidate, dog. You know what I'm saying? If somebody's supposedly this is gonna happen, white folks and everybody was here before us, Hispanics, we're great. You know what I'm saying? We're awesome. If anybody's going to take the mantle, there is no better candidate than Hispanic people because we are already multi-ethnic, right? By design, right? We're family-oriented, right? And we have Western civilization values, okay? We have Western values. We like the family, right? We go to church. We follow laws and order, right? We believe in reproducing. We like to barbecue on Sundays. We like sports, right? You call it football, we call it football, right? But a lot of us like football too, right? Like we're just very like, we're tight. You know what I'm saying? Not only look at civil service, right? Look at the military and police, right? And civil service all over this country. If you see Latinos there, if you see if that's open and Latino live there, you're gonna see Latinos doing those jobs, right? We're very patriotic, right? And like I said, more than anything, we share Western values, right? To give you an example, right? And this is, like I said, this is just a way to think. I don't want to pit it. This is not something that I die on, right? But just something to think about, right? Like have you guys heard the idea of the death of Europe, right? The slow death of Europe that is occurring right now, right? People say that if you go to London no more, it's like you don't feel like you're in London, right? You feel like you're in the Middle East, right? Or you're somewhere else, right? Like in Europe, right? Their immigration problems are different than our immigration problems, and I'll tell you how, right? In what ways, right? It's that they're very different culturally, like right. The folks that like right now, there's a lot of nationalist movements, what they call them, right? Like Brexit, right? Brexit people say they try to connect it to racism or the rise of Le Pen in France, right? But it's just what's happening in Europe, right? Is that they don't have the same civil rights movements that we've had, right? They have a totally different history, including with the Moors. Right, the Moors that once took them, they have, Europe and that part of the world, they've all been battling and, raped each other. And then the other one came back and raped on them. And, that's what they do and shit, right? So it's a complicated history, right? But they have the people that they're letting in giant influxes are very different culturally, okay? Pakistan folks and Northern Africa, they have many times very different cultural values, right? Their religions, they're not the same. They don't have the same ideas, right? And to be someone of those folk, people coming in giant waves, right? And people that also reproduce at higher numbers, right? That people that reproduce at higher numbers, they're coming in, right? And they're making those places new places, right? For good or bad, right? But that's something that is happening in Europe, right? Like they have a large influx of people with very different values and morality, the ways they look at sexuality, right? The ways that they look at freedom, right? Just very, very different, right? But not here. You know what I'm saying? Like Americans, black folks, and white folks who were here before us, man, hey, we're cool, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? You like us, right? We have attractive women, right? We have delicious food, right? We have hardworking men. Like I said, I feel that there is no better candidates than ourselves, right? We're dope, right? And this is a big mistake that I feel that people make, right? Like especially like Republicans, right? Republican, like I said, I don't necessarily go for any party, right? But I do lean conservative, right? But Republicans, you guys are messed up because whatever that racist part of you guys are dumb, right? If you guys want to really succeed, right? Especially if you see what's happening in like Texas and all that, you need to embrace us, right? The sooner you embrace our culture, and then it'll be the better for you if that's what you want. If you don't, if you want to continue with the other negative rhetoric, then you're losing out on a giant base, right? And the Democrats, you guys are just users, right? You guys just give us a lot of dumb stuff. People are smarter than you think, right? You guys think that you guys can give us cheap things and we're always going to go, and it's been working. But as you guys noticed lately, man, more and more, you look at the polling lately, man, more and more Hispanic folks are getting out of that way of thinking, man. So here's some pictures I put up of the Moors, right? And the thing that's happening in Europe, right? They're having a very different cultural intake than we are, right? Like this is the mayor of London, right? It's just something very different, right? But here in America, right here, Latinos, we're kind of, it's going different, right? We're not always going with you. So Democrats, you guys, that's something that you guys should think about changing your ways, right? If you really want us, right? And like I said, right, but I think that what's lacking is we don't have we need like that great leader, right? Somebody that kind of breaks through, right? And let's just own it, right? Like I said, we're Hispanics, we're already multicultural, we're already black and brown and white, right? We come in every shade of the spectrum, right? So let's do it. USA, Hispanic, you can be both things at once. Everybody embrace us, man, because like I said, we're awesome. One thing I wonder about Asians too, because Asians are coming in large numbers too, right? And then they're like, are Asians more assimilant, or do they assimilate more easily? Do you look at that? Do you see that, or do you see them kind of hanging on to their values more, right?
No, they hang. I've observed, right, that they hang out with their values. Latinos, Asians, they kind of tend to hold with their values. They just go back to basics,
Right.
Yeah, religion is a big thing.
They tend
to. It's a big thing. You see in America, they're trying to push a new religion,
yes.
but
they are,
you just have to go back, to
your
basics.
cultural values.
Yeah, religion.
Right. Yeah. Oh, crazy, man. All right, man. So that's my rant of the day, right? The great replacement. Hey, why not us, right? You know what I'm saying? You know what? Let me bring in my boy Marlon here at the end of that to see what he thinks about that, dog. My boy is Filipino, which is Asian. What do you think, big dog? Yo, Marlon.
Yes, I think.
What's up, big dog? How you feeling, big dog?
Yo, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you good, big dog. How you doing, man?
You guys hear me?
My boy out of Oxnard. Oxnard's hardest MC. Yeah, big dog. Yeah, man. So how you feel, man? How you feel about what I had to say?
Latinos. Yeah, I think Latinos and Asians definitely hold on to their values, especially from the old country.
But do you think
it's also fading away,
But do you think that there'll be good people to carry on the torch of Americanism, though, too? Like, do you think that they're, will they also be good Americans?
Oh yeah, it's westernized. They're definitely Americanized, even if country they're still Americanized and westernized,
Right.
So they were raised out here, so they're Americans as much as they're Asians, for sure.
Okay, dope, man. All right, man. So we're gonna move on from that, man. We're gonna head out to our next segment, which is the current events. What's going on in the world? Brought to you by your boy CZALEO Burgundy Cienfuegos. Calderon Fuentes Diaz de la Puente. All right, man. We're gonna talk about what's going on in the world, and the number one thing that's going on all over the world. You know what? I'm gonna keep it classy. I'm not even gonna show the guy falling, dog. Our leader, man. We all know what happened with him, dog. It's the guy. It's the meme apocalypse, right? Like, you know, this guy, dog. Oh man, dog. You know what, dog. And here's the thing, is, dog. I'm not a fan of the guy, but I'm at the point, dog. I feel sorry for him, dog. Hey, man, put the guy to pasture, dog. Like, his family, dog. Don't you have any shame, dog? Like, ya está viejito, dog. He's old already, dog. You know, it's him, dude.
It's like
dog.
elderly abuse.
It's elderly abuse,
Yeah.
dog. That's what it is, dog. You know what I'm saying? It's an embarrassment, man. It's one thing after the other, man. It's actually sad. You know, it's also like, it's also, you know, man, if I was the general of another country, I'd be like, oh yeah, it's time to attack right now. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? It's wide open, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, no fear, dog. It's just a shame what's happening with our leadership, dog. And that guy, you know, it's just like, it's crazy how many the memes are just already, just thousands, dog. Within 2 hours, dog, I was flooded with Joe Biden falling off the bike memes, dog, you know, which is kind of mean-spirited, man. Poor guy, you know. But what you think, Marlon? What you think of our leader?
I've been laughing at that. That was a funny ass footage.
Yeah, man. Poor guy, huh?
I don't know. No comment on that fool.
All right, dog. So okay, we'll move on then. You know what? I'll get something that maybe might interest you a little bit more, man. So it looks like the Nipsey Hussle trial is going on, right? Have you guys heard about that? The guy who did it, right? Who did the crime, Eric Holder? Yeah. They finally got him there in the courtroom, right? Man, dog, you know, I'm straight up, dog. I wish that this is the time I'm hoping for some street justice. I would have been more happy, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, what's it gonna be, dog? What are they gonna get him as? You know, I mean, they got him on camera, right? I mean, what's he gonna try to say he's crazy, right? Something like that. Have you heard anything about that, Marlon? Anything about what's going on with that trial?
I'm surprised it took so long to have the trial. I think TMZ is pretty grimy for putting out that footage early, but at the same token, thanks TMZ for catching that on camera and for the footage for that to go out, because everything's on tape, you know. Right,
he did it, dog. That's for sure. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever gone down those rabbit holes, dog, of other people who might have like done it, or do you believe any of those, or not? It's not really worth it.
About as far as like who
like set him up, like LAPD or like other people in his own clique and all that stuff.
Nah, I think it was strictly gang shit.
Yeah,
I think it was straight up good old
gangster. Or like a stupid moment.
It was a disagreement that went bad, you know.
Right. I feel you, dog.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, Nipsey told him, he called him a snitch, right? So over there, like in gangland, that you can't.
That's not cool, dog.
That's not cool. Then
you have to let him know. Well, too bad, man. Rest in peace to Nipsey, like always, man. A couple of other things I wanted to bring up is Bitcoin, man. It looks like is Bitcoin. The last 2 days, I've been watching my little app is kind of going on a couple of them, but overall, dog, like I've been seeing some. There's been a lot of serious people that are like saying like the party's over, bro. Like, you know, we have anybody in the chats?
Really?
Anybody know about are you guys Bitcoin guys right here? They're trying to decide if it was premeditated. Oh, yes, that's right, man. About that's more than anything what they're doing with the Nipsey trial. Yeah, man. You know, man, maybe if it was premeditated, that makes it deeper, right? That means that somebody sent him over there, right? If it was, you're looking at 25 years to life, man. Good. No, he should never get out, man. You know, I say capital punishment on food. Like, you know, somebody who's so, you know, like I said, last week I told you guys never underestimate the power of a hater, man. You know, somebody small could take out. Nipsey shouldn't even call them a snitch. You shouldn't even talk to people like that, dog. You know. But man, just a tragedy, right? But back to Bitcoin, right? So it seems to be kind of like really negative. A lot of people who are bullish on it are kind of backing down. So, you know, talk to your financial people, man. Everybody, make sure you do your research, right? You know, then there's other people who are like the hardcore people that they're like, nah, dog, this is it, dog. Like, get as much as you can right now, you know.
Yeah, that's a big lot. It's about 20 or less than 20 now, right?
Yeah,
Bitcoin,
yeah.
So I know a lot of people that invested, and you know, we know someone that invested big time, and I always think about him, you know, because he was I think he invested 20 back in the day.
Right.
And, last year he was showing us he was about 70. So I just wonder where
I know,
he's at
dog.
now. And it's heartbroken.
Yeah. There's also a lot of people's 401ks that are not doing that as good as they were right now, too, man. So, everybody have a strategy out there, man. We got a great show right here called Brown Wealth Radio, man. They'll give you some good ideas and stuff to think about when it comes to stuff like that, man. I'm gonna have some people on here too that I know about. Maybe we'll have my brother Joseph on here one day. He knows about stuff like that, man. So a couple of other stories I want to get to, man. I want to make sure we have enough time. There's one story, man, that's kind of bothering, man. That's just the part of this whole world that we're living in, man, is the George Washington University, of course. They're called the Colonials. What do? They change their name, right? This goes on to the further proof of the new religion of wokeness that everybody must bend down to, right? What's wrong with it, man? The Washington Colonials, man, the people, it has negative connotations. Grow up, man. Grow up. You know what I'm saying? Grow up. That's the name of the school. That's what it was at the time. He was a colonel. It makes sense, man. You want to connect everything to that. It just, and what the bigger message I want to say is, what? The hell with that, dude. They're the Colonials and they're the Redskins and they're the Cleveland Indians. Okay. I will not play this game. I refuse. Okay. To me, it's the same thing. We don't all have to bend over to this, dog. And it's just disgusting to me, dog. It's something that really makes me angry how everybody just bends. And if people pretend that there's not something going on, there is something going on, right? There's this social dynamic, there's this social contagion that's going on. And it's super dangerous and I don't like it, man. So, I'm not a fan of that, man. And then the other thing I wanted to bring up with Juneteenth, you know what? Happy Juneteenth to everybody. Juneteenth to me is people might think I might not be, right? I'm not woke. But you know what, Juneteenth, I respect the whole idea. I get it. To celebrate the ending of slavery, I totally get it. You know what I'm saying? It's great. You know what I'm saying? So happy Juneteenth to everyone out there. But one thing that does bother me about it, man, it's like it's just or not bother me, but makes me want to think, man, is like, it's a celebration of slavery. I don't see anybody saying like, shout out to all the soldiers who died on the Union side, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's arguments that people who are, sometimes people say that, the Civil War wasn't about slavery, and then people who are woke will be like, oh, it was 100% about slavery. Okay, if it was 100% about slavery, do you know how many people died on the Union side? We're talking about the biggest toll of all wars, right? For Americans, right? Of casualties, right? A lot of people sacrificed, right? I would like to see some acknowledgement, right, or the U.S. flag involved, right, because it was America who, it was America who did that, right, and it's also a celebration. A lot of people died. A lot of people who today supposedly are the people who oppressed you, their granddaddies and their daddies died on the field. They went against their parents, their brothers, right? It was brother against brother, father against son. It should be at least part of it, man. So just something that I think is interesting to think about, man. And then, you know what? I didn't upload the meme of the week, brother. I missed it, dog. I didn't upload it, man. So we're gonna actually not do the meme of the week this week. My bad, guys. I just noticed right now that I didn't upload it, but it's cool because we have other news that we could talk about in the meantime. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about, let me see here, was what's going on with all the dead cows that are going on, man, and all the processing plants. Has anybody seen what's going on with that, man? I think that's something that should be high in the news, right? News cycle, but it somehow is not as much as it should be, right? It's pretty strange, right? Have you guys been seeing this? People are talking about shortages and stuff coming on, man. If you guys have noticed, food prices are much different these days, right? Have you noticed it, Marlon, on your end, man? Have you noticed prices going up on day-to-day products?
Hell yeah, especially
right, right. So these are the things to keep an eye on, right? When they're distracting you with Johnny Depp and all that stuff, man. There's things going on right now. There's a lot of people talking about, hey, be careful. There's shortages, man. So our leadership, once again, that should be heavily criticized, right? Have a plan, right? Grow your own food. There's fires of the fire, like I always say, man, I feel like this is all a setup, all this fear again, right? They're gonna come up with another virus to get us all scared, man, and I just don't trust it, man. So I'm not a fan of any of this stuff. Does anybody what do you think, big man?
10,000 cows to die, and they're saying it's a heat wave. That's too much. I would think like a couple, like 10 or 15, but 10,000 in a row, something's up. What about aliens?
Right, man. Oh, man, aliens, dog, or something right there. Like there's something going on. The thing is, like, people, we're not gonna notice how the supply chain is affected until you notice it's affected. Right now, we're noticing the prices, but little by little, right, you're gonna start. If you start noticing like maybe fruit in the aisle, that's you see more flies at the market, right? You're gonna start seeing bigger lines. You're gonna start seeing less stuff. You already see it at the fast food places. Like certain products aren't available no more, man. So, this is some doomsday stuff talking, man. But hopefully it's not true, right? Well, I always hope for the best, right? Hopefully our people, our leadership can get it together and we can get these supply chains going, right? But, decisions have consequences, guys. So, nothing's free, man. And right now we're paying the price of all that free money that we all had a little while ago, man. So, all right, man. That's the news, the current events. All right. Thank you for tuning in for that, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be moving on to If I Ruled the World. All right. So this one is going to be a little tricky, right? I want to make sure that I define it correctly, right? So if I ruled the world, I'm going to call this one, define evil and define genocide, right? One thing that bothers me about that, a lot of times when you people talk about, we live in a time when everybody's talking about, injustice or things that happened in the past, right? And we always talk about something that people always bring up to kind of bring down Western civilization and Christianity is the Crusades. People always say, oh, you know what, but what about the Crusades, right? That they went down there and in the name of the religion, they killed, these many people, this, so on and so forth, right? They make it seem like it's this evil thing, right? So first and foremost, to give you a little background on the Crusades, it's a complicated subject like many things, right? If you look at it from the Christian perspective, right, it was an answer. The Muslims were mad invading everywhere, and they had to, if they didn't stop them now, they were going to come for them eventually, right? So, it was a tactic, right? Now they came back, did they do evil things? In war, people always do evil things, right? But it amazes me because that was also, so long ago and also spread over time, right? In the Crusades, no matter what the most, you usually find that about 1 million people died in the Crusades. At the maximum, some extreme people, they'll say like 7 to 6 million, right? At the max, right? And this is like over hundreds of years, right? In different crusades, the Crusades didn't happen in a 10-year gap, right? They happened over hundreds of years, right? But people easily go to that like, oh, how many people have died in the name of God, right? Well, I wish that the schools did a better job of juxtapositioning that to how many people have died for the cause of atheism, right? Or under agnostic, right? Atheist religions. If you actually took a look, right? It is overwhelmingly way more. You know how many people Stalin killed? Between 50 and 60 million. Do you know how many people Mao killed? Between 60 and 80 million. Hitler was in the 20 millions. It makes it sound like a little bit. People right now are like, oh, whack. People are like, oh, let down. No, Hitler wasn't that hard. You know what I'm saying? But in comparison, right? And these people all have, all these movements, they all started off, one of the first things they start killing in all of these movements is God, right? Each and every one of these, right? God and the family is replaced by the state, right? Do it when you have some time. Go and look it up. How many people died under Stalin's regime? Millions upon millions, right? Mao, the same thing, right? Between all the famines, right, and the Great Leap Forward, right? Everybody died, everybody starved. He didn't give a damn, right? Nazis were more direct, right? They actually killed people straight up in their faces, right? But, nobody ever goes back. And these are actually much more recent, right? These actually happened in the last 100 years, right? But it's amazing to me how that's always just a patrol. You know what, Marlon, you work in education, right? You worked in those realms, right? Do you like have you noticed how there's always like it's funny how in colleges you'll always find like a Soviet flag. You'll find somebody there with the old iron sickle on there, right? Like thinking like communism is cool, right? Or a big Che poster of Fidel Castro, right? Well, why do you think that is, right? Well, why do people easily attack religion and not these more recent movements? What do you think, Marlon?
Because I think people feel connected to their religion, they just want to represent what they believe in. They have this loyalty to their religion.
Right, but why do you think the schools present it differently? Like, why do you think, why do you think that we all quickly go to that? Why do people quickly think, when people think about like wars in the past, they always think about like, oh, Christianity has slaughtered all these people, and they never bring up these kind of people, or rarely do.
Because I think the school system decides what they want to teach us, and there's also lost history in the process that we lost throughout the years. At the end of the day, even the school system, there's politics behind that to decide what to teach us.
Right, man. So yeah, man, I wish that there was I wish that there was like a different appreciation, right, or not appreciation, right, but a different way to look at it, right. Well, what do you think, man? Have you seen similar things?
So going back to the genocide, right? The thing is, I don't know if people understand. Like, it wasn't like, oh, tomorrow the genocide starts. There is an idea they start implementing from schools, an ideology going all over the place,
right?
And then that's when it starts, the genocide, like the killings. For an example, right? It's like maybe we are the cancellation of culture, right? The cancel culture.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it starts in our new generation, right? But like not having a voice, you're pretty much killing people.
Yeah.
And it's not technically I kill you. It's like
but
depression.
You're killing, it's like you're killing their place in society.
Yes.
Right. Like the way, like I've heard, like, people say like with girls are meaner than boys. Like boys, they'll attack you guys, will get in fights, but girls will ruin your reputation. Like they'll end you. They'll be like, she's a slut, and that's it. And you're also similar, right? Which is what you're saying, right? They shut you down and you're done.
Yeah. And then, you're probably not killing people, but you're killing people's persona, and then leads to suicides. Look at the past 2 years. Yes, we had COVID,
right?
But a lot of depression, a lot of suicides, and no one's looking into that. And that's something to look out.
Right. Those ideas, they always start off noble, right? They always start off like it's all about, they start killing God and all that because there's like, we're all equal, right? Everybody's the same. These people are coming against us. We all need to be united. Okay, we're going on a commercial break. We'll be back with the great movie of the week in the rabbit hole with my boy Marlon. All right. Thank you guys. We'll be back.
Are you looking for the best barbershop experience? Then the Locker Room Barbershop is the place for you. Check them out at their new location, located at 16900 Lakewood Boulevard, Unit 204 in Bellflower, California. If you would like to book an appointment, you can check them out at thelockerroom05.com or on Instagram at The Locker Room Barbershop LLC. Feel free to call the number 562-202-9602. Again, that phone number is 562-202-9602. Can't wait to see you at the Locker Room Barbershop.
Yo, what's cracking, fools? It's your boy, CZALEO. CZALEO Knows It All. Check me out every Tuesday at 1 p.m. right here on TGN Latinx, the authority in radio and podcast. Let's go, baby. And what? Fool, you don't like it? So what?
Hey, Jackie, what's wrong?
I'm over here running around trying to tell everybody about the Podcast Pit.
What's the Podcast Pit?
I'm glad you asked. The Podcast Pit is an event where you will find some of your favorite podcasts performing in front of a live audience.
Will there be food and drinks there?
Of course there will be. It's at Joxer Dailies in Culver City. They have a full bar and a full menu.
Hey, I may need to tell people about this as well.
Yes, come with me. Let's tell them. The Podcast Pit is coming. The Podcast Pit is coming.
It's back, Jax. Have you heard? It's back.
Michael, what are you talking about? What's back?
The Podcast Pit. It is returning Monday, May 23rd. Brand new venue.
Oh my God, the Podcast Pit is back. Exciting. Where's it at?
It's going to be at Joxer's Daily at 7:30 p.m.
I know where that's at. That's at 11168 Washington Boulevard in Culver City.
So, Jax, will I see you there?
Oh, you know it, baby.
What's up, it's your girl Gina Views. Make sure you are tuned in to Ladies Night every Friday at 7:30.
Hey everybody, this is Mala Munoz, creator and host of Mighty Juanera, a podcast for potheads. Make sure that you tune in to Ladies Night Radio at TGN Latinx.
Girl, what you doing on Tuesday?
Girl, I'm going to be listening to Never Not Extra.
Oh, word? What time they come on?
Girl, they come on at 8:30, but only on Pacific Standard Time. So 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Okay, how do I listen though?
Only on the Good News Radio app, girl.
The Good News Radio app? Okay, I'm about to download that right now.
Go ahead and download that shit, girl. And get in the comments, girl.
Oh, I'm going to be up in there.
Because Kirsten be crazy.
And Moni be spilling that tea.
Ooh, all right. See you on Tuesday, girl.
Hey everyone, it's the Primos Chidos.
Hopefully you're enjoying this show, but if it sucks, be sure to check out our show, live Thursdays at 12.
Yeah, join me and my sister and basically my brother as we discuss everything from immigration to ejaculation.
If that sounds interesting, then we're the show for you.
Warning, the following podcast features discussion of sensitive topics, graphic content, and uncensored stupidity. Unless otherwise stated, the featured content.
If that sounds interesting,
Yeah. Okay, man. Welcome back, everybody. TGN Latinx, the Good News Radio. CZALEO Knows It All.
If that sounds interesting,
Yeah. Okay, man. All right, man. Here we go. All right, man. We back, everybody. All right, let me get that. Let's get that. Okay, here we go. Okay, we back. All right, welcome everybody. Okay, man. Second half hour, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for logging on to the chats, everybody. Shout out to everybody out there watching. Shout out to my boy Marlon. Okay, here we go, man. So we're gonna get into the great freaking movie of the week.
Yeah, great fucking movie.
I love that song. Play it one more time, dog. I love that sound effect, dog. Can you play it one more time? We'll get it in.
Yeah, great fucking movie.
Yeah. All right, man. Anybody wondering? That's Eddie Murphy. That's Eddie Murphy saying that, man. Okay, so today's great freaking movie of the week is a classic, right? If you're in my age group, if you're a millennial and above, this is gonna be a movie that you remember. It's kind of a fun movie. I kind of feel like I've been doing some serious stuff, man. So I wanted to keep it light today. Okay, where I got the pictures of this great movie, man. We're gonna do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. All right. Teenage Marlon, did you see this movie? Did you watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? The OG one, right? Freaking dope, right? It's a great movie, man. We got Splinter, we got Shredder, right? It's kind of silly, right? But it's great. Let me show you some clips I got about this movie too, man. Let me see here.
Go ninja, go ninja, go ninja,
Rap.
Mimicking his movements from my cage and learning the mysterious art of ninjutsu. For
Hey! Wait for me! Whoa! God, I love being a turtle! Pizza dude's got 30 seconds. Give me that. Wise man say forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza.
Urokusaki, I know who you are. We met many years ago in the home of my master, Omato Yoshi.
Man, so I love it, man. So to give you a little bit of origin of this movie, right? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was actually started off as a comic book series, right? It was a comic book series that was actually kind of dark and gritty, right? When they started off, from there they moved on, right? And they made the movie of it. When they made the movie, you guys remember it was a sensation, right? The cartoon series, when they made it into a cartoon series, like anything they kind of had to sell out and kind of make it friendlier, right? They picked everybody. They gave the perfect names, right? There was and it was perfect. Like I always think that group dynamic works, right? When there's a group, it's like everybody can pick a character. Like I'm more like him, I'm more like them, right? So it was Michelangelo, Raphael, Leonardo, and Donatello, right? And what is it? They're named after those great European artists, right? Stroke of genius, right? Makes them automatically interesting, right? So it was a sensation, right? In those days, Teenage Mutant, I think it was, if I'm correct, man, that's really the big first sensation that I remember. They were before Power Rangers, am I correct?
Yeah, they were before Power.
They were before Power. They were the first one that I felt like it was like the whole branding, like the whole idea of branding, right? The you had to get the pajamas, you had to get the bed sheets, right? You had to do the whole nine, right? That was great, right? So it was like a cultural moment, right? And then when the movie came out, it was dope, man, because it's actually, if you watch it today, it's one of those movies that if it's on the side, on Saturday, I'll watch it. I'll finish watching it because it's dope. It's like 90s. I feel like it captures the New York City before 9/11, the old gritty New York City, like kind of like what Gotham was, right? The idea of like it's dark, it's gritty, right? And the white boy, it's even funny because it shows like I've always felt like that's what New York is. Like, remember so the plot is that there's like this boy, they work at a radio station, April O'Neil, right? She's the reporter girl. they work at a radio station, and then one of the guys that he works with, his son starts getting recruited to this gang. This gang takes over the city. The gang is the Shredder, right? The Shredder and the Foot, right? And it's like they recruit kids because they're like, man, your parents don't understand you, bro. Like, be one of us, right? So it's like early on with those ideas, right, of like gang stuff and being recruited, right? So then it's like this white boy, and it's like you can tell it's like the single dad. It's like this New York single dad with glasses, man, lives in an apartment. Like I always thought in my mind even when I was a kid, I always watched TV, right? I would watch Friends, and everybody like sleeps with each other. I always like people in New York. Like you go to New York if you want to just be single forever. That's the place to go. Like it's not a place for family. It's like a place where you go if you just want to be single forever. You're like 35, 39. You're just dating and like you date. Like the same, like Seinfeld. It's just a show about nothing. Like I feel like that's what like New York, like Jewish and white people like. They just go there, they just think, they just do it. You know what I'm saying? Like it kind of. That's what I thought. It made me think of like New York, right? So, so then you know. There was these turtles that it's dope because the clips that I showed you there, the ones with where Splinter says Hamato Yoshi. I love that. I know my little brother's going crazy right now. Chris, he loves that scene too, right? It's dope because the story is so it's dope because it even shows like the old, like it's like those Japan spaghetti westerns, right? It's like a story about honor. Like so Splinter was a rat that he trained under his master Yoshi, but then he had a rival over a woman, of course, right? And that was Shredder. So Shredder one day he ambushed him. He was mad because he couldn't have her. He kills him, and then he races up and he scratches him. So and the long story short, he ends up in New York somehow. This ooze comes, this like toxic from the city, like nuclear power waste, makes him and these turtles into like humans. So long story short, Shredder, he runs into him in the future. He's like, I remember you, right? So it's awesome. It's like that whole like old school Japanese movie, right? Like it's just great. You know what I'm saying? It goes into all that. And it's also about like brotherhood, right? Like they're bros, man. Like they're different and stuff, right? But they're always together, right? And then Splinter's like their dad. You know what I'm saying? It has dope. I don't know. You guys fans of it? You guys want to say anything? Marlon?
Yeah, man. That was big in the Philippines.
Oh, was it? It was?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It was really big out there, especially the action figures. I was a big fan of Donatello.
Oh, that was your guy, Donatello? That's tight. I was a Raphael. You?
Michelangelo.
Oh, sick, dog. Crazy, dog. You know what's funny? Another thing I always think of like Michelangelo. It's funny you should like Michelangelo because I always felt like I didn't like Michelangelo. I feel like Michelangelo, and like it's funny how things actually like emerged though, right? Is there like an echo? Is that my bad? Something echoing my bad? Oh, but it's like I feel like when they started it, like they marketed like Michelangelo was the first star, right? Because he was funny, he liked pizza, right? But then like I like Ralph because he was like brooding, right? He was like serious, you know what I'm saying? And then like Donatello was like for the smart kids, and I always feel like or like Bart. Originally Bart was supposed to be a star, you remember?
Mm-hmm.
Bart, but Homer's the star. Homer became the star of The Simpsons, right? Even though Bart was originally, everybody, you got to do the skateboard, like the kids were supposed to get it, but after a while, Homer mutated to be the star of that show. You know what I'm saying? So it's similar. I feel like that whole branding, like sometimes people come out with one star first, but it evolves to somebody else, right? Which makes that all interesting too, right? But it's just it's a good ninja movie, right? It's a good movie with the sai. Everybody, did you go through that area? You're like, I want to get sais, or I want to get the stick.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know if you remember, we were kids, right?
Yeah, we were nuts about it, dog. We were freaking nuts about it, dog. Chris. And then you know what? Did anybody catch the remakes? Did anybody?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Not the best.
Right.
The thing is, CGI kind of killed everything now.
Yeah. You know what? It was cool. Yeah, because even the way it was made, right? They were like you can still watch it today and you still buy it. Because they were like a mixture of CGI and like they were like the suits, the animatronic suits. What's his name? Corey Feldman or one of them?
Corey Feldman was
he was the voice. Like you like him. That movie, they're like likable characters, you know? There's Casey Jones, there's April O'Neil, right? It's a good, fun time. It's something you can still watch with your kids, right? So just a great movie all around. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If you have a chance, watch it, man. You'll like it, man. All right. So anything else?
Great fucking movie.
That's right, big dog. Yeah. All right, man. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. All right, man. So thank you guys for logging in. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys download the app, the Good News Radio. Big shout out, like I said, to the podcast business. I'm actually going to be on July 11th, man. So if you want to come see CZALEO live for the first time, July 11th, there at Jocksters Daily in Culver City. We'll have more details as the weeks come. All right. So, all right, man. We're not going to go down to another one of everybody's favorite segments. Are you ready to go down the rabbit hole of conspiracy, Marlon, with me?
Let's do it.
Rabbit hole. of the week. All right. You guys know here we like to in this show, we like to question what's going on, right? We like to look at history. We like to make connections of the weird things that are going on in this world, right? And this is one that I kind of lightly touched on last week, but I wanted to go a little bit deeper on, okay? And it is the idea, or not the idea, but it is a group that actually exists at one of the most elite universities of our country, at Yale. It's a group that calls themselves Skull and Bones. Okay, have you heard about Skull and Bones, Marlon?
No, I have not.
Okay, Skull and Bones, right? These people are some serious people. Okay, so they were started in Yale University, right? That right there is one Prescott Bush, the OG Bush, right? That's George. I'm sorry, that's George W. Bush, and that's not the OG Bush, right? But Prescott Bush was one of the OGs, right? They're right there with the head of Geronimo. I'll tell you more about that. So Skull and Bones is a secret society that started there, and like I said, at the University of Yale, right? Every year, they still exist to this day. Every year, they pick the best and the brightest. If you go to Yale, and all the Ivy League schools, they all have something similar, right? They have like, Brown has like the Brown man, one has like the Crimson Guard, right? Whatever. It's like it's like people get into fraternities, but this is beyond fraternities, right? Mm-hmm. Every spring, certain juniors, like basically the most influential people, like the movers and the shakers of that school, you get elected to be in this club, right? And once you're in that club, it's supposedly something else, right? And then there's a great movie called The Good Shepherd. Have you ever heard of that movie, The Good Shepherd? It was with De Niro, with Matt Damon. It came out, and even Angelina Jolie was in it. It's a great movie. It tells it's a little bit of the tale about them, and because they eventually, those guys are the guys who ended up making the CIA, right? But so that's to go to show you, right? They have a long list of influential people, right? They have 3 presidents. Taft was the founder of the first one. His son became president of the United States. Both of the Bushes became president of the United States. You guys remember John Kerry, the guy that he ran against Bush? He was also a member of Skull and Bones. So they were like, it was basically 2 fools from the same club running together, right? So this is a society that has, and that's just a little bit, right? They were also in control of the Rockefeller fortune and the Carnegie fortune, right? So these people have mad influence, right? These people are people that, like they say there's always the Masons, right? And all stuff. Masons, they're an international. There's more of them, right? Skull and Bones, it's, they're even more exclusive, right? And it goes to another idea that I always like to tell people, like, the idea of like university, like honestly, dude, like Ivy Leagues, it's another, you don't go there just for what you learn. You go there for the connections, right? These people run everything, right? These people, they're all in the same, the people who run whatever they are, right? They all go to the same schools, right? And these are like the Ivy League schools are one of them. Yale, Harvard, this is serious connections that you make at these schools, right? Now, remember the movie? There was a movie that came out.
The Skulls?
Yeah, The Skulls. You remember that movie?
Yeah.
Marlon?
I do not.
Oh, it was with the dude from
Mighty Ducks and Paul Walker.
Ducks, yeah.
And Paul Walker.
Paul Walker was in it too. Rest in peace,
that was a good movie. I enjoyed it.
It was, right? So I remember when, as soon as he got in, he got all this money in his bank account, right? It was like sick, right? But they, it's strange rituals to get in, right? There's certain things that they had to do. And you know what's funny, man? Because I was a member of a secret society. I'm in a fraternity. I'm a fraternity member of Beta Gamma Nu, right? So I get it, right? And I actually I think all that shit is dope. I think secrets and all that stuff, it's tight, right? There's a place for it, right? So it's not that, but it's always funny to me, like white people, dog. Like I always felt like the big difference between like ethnic fraternities and sororities and white people sororities is like, these white people, they just like to do weird shit, like sexual shit. Like, I don't know why, or even like comedians, like just hanging around. Like when the thing about like difference between like white guys, like Hispanic guys, we all joke around, but like it's white guys that are like, oh, it's my dick. They're always like, they're like obsessed with like penises, dog. It's like this weird thing, dog. And even to get into their organizations, they always do, if you start your own secret society, what will be some of your requirements to join? Oh man, it'll be hardcore to join my shit, dog. Oh, you got to get into my shit. It'll take a year and a half, homie. You know what I'm saying? You got to come out buff. You know what I'm saying? That's a good question though, man. I definitely want to start one. I'm recruiting members every day, man. But yeah, it goes to to that, man. To that whole idea, man, of secret societies. Now, people always talk smack about them, right? But, would you join one? Like, let's say if you could really join and be part of Powerful. People talk smack now, but I think you would join. What do you think? What would you do?
I think I would join just for the connection, the brotherhood. And, I say yes. You never know once you're given the opportunity to join the invitation, when you get invited anywhere, right? You're like, yeah, I'll go, right? Kind of. So
Right. And then even some of the things they say, because one of the big that made them famous, like the Bushes are big in it. Prescott Bush was like the OG Bush. I've told you guys before, like there's always has to be an OG fool that does the dirty money, right? He stole the head of Geronimo. Geronimo was like the head of the Apaches at the time. It's part of like their whole like, their whole like rituals and stuff that they do, right? But like, I feel like, should everything be open? Like, if people want to, like, we're supposed to have freedom, right? If people want, if people want to have an all-women's club, they should be able to have an all-women's club. If people want to have a man's club, if people want to have a club where they do stuff, but it becomes dangerous when these people become like super influential the way they are, right? Like we're talking about admirals in the Navy, right? People high in media, right? People that run all the newspapers, right? So they're always pitching you an idea, right? So that's something I always, tell people to remember, right? That there's like a zeitgeist, right? And there's an agenda, and all the people who are on the news and the newspapers, they're all cousins. They all went to the same schools. They're all part of the same clubs, and this is one of them, right? So Skull and Bones is something that is super interesting, right? Like it's something to go. Like I told you, I gave you some of the clues about like the whole Apache thing with Geronimo, how they went into his grave and stole his head, right? So I don't know, they get things that gives them superpowers, right? All that stuff. It's kind of funny, right? But is that necessary? If you tell the truth, like even America, all the founding fathers, they were all Masons, right? In some way, right? Those things give some kind of. Are those things happen in Philippines? I know the fraternities are big in Filipino society, right, Marlon?
In college, yes. But I joined the frat when I was in Cal State Fullerton.
Okay, tight. So you have an appreciation for it, right?
Shout out to Beta Upsilon Delta.
Right.
But as far as like the fraternities in the Philippines, it became like a syndicate, like crime. They started getting into other shit. But it would be like the sons of mayors, sons of politicians that would pay off the cops, and they would get away with murder and crime. So it like fraternities in the Philippines eventually evolved into that.
That's crazy. To like mafia shit.
Their fathers was just rich men, rich politician men, and rich mayors and senators. They were like,
you start getting influence, right?
Like, their fathers was powerful men, so they got away with crime,
Right. And that's good. I mean, that's pretty much what people say Skull and Bones has done eventually too, right? But just like on bigger, or just big levels in the United States, big levels in the Philippines too, right? So yeah, man, Skull and Bones, everybody. That's the rabbit hole of the week. If you have some time, look into it. Do your own research, like I always say. You'll have a good time looking into those gentlemen. Okay. You know what? Quick question. Like, I wonder if have those places become woke now? You know what I'm saying? Like even has it reached them? Like even now, Skull and Bones, they have to have like a quota, right? Or do they accept women now? Because now actually women have a lot of influence, right? There's more women in universities now than men, right? A lot of frat banging was happening back in 2000, and I was like, oh, dog, hey, don't get me started, dog. Hey, don't get me started, dog. That's funny, dog. That was in my days, dog. You know what I'm saying? I put the G in BG in. I helped put the G in BG in. That's what I would like to say. Nah, just playing with you, dog. Crazy stuff, man. All right, man. So we're going to move on from that, man. We're going to move on to our next segment, which is things that your daddy should have taught you.
What I'm doing is I'm trying to teach you how to be responsible. It's like your little friends across the street. They don't have anybody to show them how to do that. They don't. You're going to see how they end up, too.
All right, man. So you know what? Real quick, I forgot to touch on this when I was talking about the secret societies. One of the things that opened my eyes early in my life was the Stonecutters. You remember this whole Simpsons episode about the Stonecutters? When there was a No Homers Club and he tried to join the secret society? You guys remember? It was an early Simpsons episode. That's one of the first ones that opened my eyes about the whole idea of secret societies. I freaking love that episode, dog. The Stonecutters episode of the Simpsons. It's freaking sick, dog. All right, man. But things your daddy should have taught you for the week, man, real quick, is there's a saying in Spanish, okay? And it goes, el que paga, manda, okay? El que paga, manda. What that translates to roughly is if you pay, you have say, right? Or he who pays is the boss, okay? If somebody, when you pay, you're the boss. If somebody puts up their price, whatever price it may be, pay it. Don't feel guilty, right? That's the price that they wanted. Pay them full price and expect them to do their job, okay? If you put up a price that was too low and then you're mad about it, that's your fault, okay? Do the job. If somebody paid you to do the job, deliver on the job that you were paid to do, okay? If you put your price up too low at the beginning, that's on you, okay? El que paga manda, okay? If you like my dad, when I learned from him, like he used to be, this about when he gets service, right? Chris talked about it. When he goes, he demands a lot, but he also tips very, very well, very, very generously, right? And that's the interchange that happens, right? When you do business, be clear. Don't have things that are funny, right? And that's why we say, you know what, things that are free are not good. Pay for your stuff. Even the homies, whenever you get something for free, it's, Marlon, you've been in the, I'm sure you try to get a flyer done or a verse done or a beat done, right? Marlon, free is never free, right? They lag, right? Free is lagging. You never get the best quality, dog, right?
I gotta disagree.
Okay, let me know.
I've gotten some good free stuff as far as beats, and I think sometimes when people offer you free services, it's not to shortchange you. I think people respect you so much that they're offered to do something for free. But in some cases, yeah, I think you get what you paid for too. So if someone charges for beats kind of low, you're gonna get what you paid for.
But that's
if they pay for kind of high, then you're gonna definitely get some dope beats,
But you know what is dope though, because somebody said they do it for free and they still did a good job. So that's dope. Like they stated their price and they delivered, right? So whatever your price is, deliver on it, right? If that they said it was getting it for free, so they did the right thing, right? But then, be clear, right? When you want something, right? And then, like for an example, dog, this used to happen to me as a kid. It happens to a lot of kids when you go to the barber, dog. When you go get a fade and you're like 12 years old, dog. The barber's in a rush and shit. Sometimes, he didn't do your line right. He didn't do the fade right? And it sucks because some barbers, when I was a kid, they'll be like, they'll shut you up. They'll be like, just get out of here, dog. You'd be all like nervous and shit, right? Nah, dog, when you pay for the barber, I want that. And if he doesn't get go again. You know what I'm saying? Before I used to be like, why are people like that? They're difficult. Nah, dog, because you paid for the service. You know what I'm saying? And I pay for the service. I want my hair cut a certain way, right? And if it's going to take you going over again, doing the line over again, then do it, big dog. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm paying for, right?
Speaking of Latinos and Filipinos, like we take pride on their work and how we deliver. So we definitely deliver what we get paid for. So that's one of the traditions we like to hold on to, work ethic, delivering on time, you know what I mean?
Okay, tight man. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up on that. And another quick, people, if you offer a service, always remember this: always under promise and over deliver. Okay, but I'm gonna move on to a new segment that I'm gonna just talk about. I'm gonna introduce it. It's called Parlez-vous. Parlez-vous. What we got?
Je t'adore, je t'adore.
So I love you. I love all
y'all. So it's gonna be Parlez-vous. Okay, every week I'm gonna learn a new accent. I'm gonna have an accent of the week. I'm gonna come through with an English accent. I've always wanted to be trippy. I always thought it was just somebody came up to me and they were like, "Hey, like I look like a Hispanic fool," and I'd be like, "Oh, hey, what is it, governor?" Right? I'd be like, like I have some Cockney accent, some British accent, or some Jamaican accent, right? So starting next week, I'm going to have a new segment called Parlez-vous. Okay, if you guys have suggestions for what accent you want me to try, I'm going to try the British accent. I'm going to do Colombian and the accent. I'm not learning a new language. Okay, I'm going to bring you a new accent of the week, all right? So look out for that. All right, we got some comments. Let's read the comments, man. A lot of bad guys laughing. Let me see. Them damn Latino fraternities. Oh yeah, man, that was a damn problem, man. Jackie knows what she's talking about. Heck yeah, man. Back in the day, man. Oh man, shout to everybody. Shout to University Connection. Shout to Collegiate Circuit. You know what? Speaking of college fraternity, real quick. I remember, dude, there's just people, they must commit suicide every day, dog. There was a thing called Collegiate Circuit back in the day. They were the ones that used to have the college fest in TJ before it got ghetto, right? They were the first ones that had the idea about like having profiles and all that. They were Facebook before Facebook, dog. Dude, they had that idea already. Dog. People had their it was like Latino college people. It was exclusive. It felt cool, right? Bro, man, those people. Who remembers that Collegiate Circuit member of the week was Lady? Oh, this one knows what's up, man. What's up, big dog? You know what I'm saying? It was, dog. It was a cool scene, man. So it was dope, man, back in the day, man. All right, so let me get on to the overall lowering of standards. Marlon, you hanging in there, big dog? Like, get a Red Bull, big dog. Don't be smoking so much. All right, dog. Hey, so real quick, wrapping that up. Things killed by COVID, man. One of the things that I've seen that I've noticed that have been that died, man. What do you think was killed by COVID? I think that one thing that really been affected is pro sports. The NBA championship happened apparently. Nobody cares, right? It doesn't have the same weight, right? NFL has been, we'll see, right? But the numbers have all been going down. Another thing that I noticed has been going down is customer service, right? I've talked about this before, man. It's just not the same, man. Even the places that had high customer service, everybody gives you things in the boxes. Nobody wants to touch you, right? It's just terrible, man. I feel that's one of the main victims, right? Another one is trust in institutions, right? Media, what institution have we totally lost? Like the voting system on either side, right? Mail-in ballots, nonsense, right? We've lost all trust in a lot of institutions. The media, done, right? Look at polling, right? Done, right? Another thing that's gone that sucks, I think, dog, is buffets. I love buffet. When's the last time you've seen a buffet? I haven't seen what buffet is open. Have you seen any, Marlon?
San
Diego has some? Oh, tight. Anybody else? Have you? What happened to hometown? All the hometown buffets closed, dog.
Yeah, they closed
out of business.
It's whack, dog. I miss buffets, man. Freaking COVID definitely killed the whole buffet, that whole idea, man. I like buffets, dog,
Shaky's still holding it down.
Shaky's holding it down, dog, but not as much, dog. You know what I noticed, dog? They only give you dark pieces, dog. At the chicken, you never get white pieces, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that, dog. You don't ever get the white meat, man. You know what I'm saying? Another thing that went down is indoor shopping malls, right? Indoor shopping is done, right? If you notice, one thing I noticed, they're changing it. A lot of malls have like kid areas now. They have arcades are coming back, right? They're trying to make it like places to hang out and be at, right? 3D or the virtual reality, right? You see that? Skype is stupid, right? They lost to Zoom. Zoom smashed them, right? You notice anything that died, Marlon?
Say what, G?
Anything else that COVID killed?
The music industry.
Oh, yeah, you think so? Even though people were home listening to music all day. Right?
I would say, like, when it first went down, they definitely canceled 1.5 years worth of shows.
Yeah.
Now that it's finally getting back into full gear, I just feel like the music industry is trying to reinvent itself now after this.
Yeah. All right, big dog. You know what? We got a commercial break coming up, man. All right, so we'll see you guys back for the last half hour. We're going to get to know Marlon a little bit more. We'll see you soon. All right, big dog. You know what? We got a commercial break.
Are you happy with your life, money, career, or relationships? Most people are frustrated with how life is evolving around them. What if you could change one thing to turn your life into a different direction? Would you want the insight? How could you transform your life with intuitive awareness? Learn more. Get answers today. Book a free discovery session with Coach Zena, intuitive transformational practitioner. Go to www.coachzena.com or follow on Instagram, coach.askzena.
It's your girl Gina Views. Make sure you are tuned in to Ladies Night every Friday at 7:30.
Hey everybody, this is Mala Munoz, creator and host of Mighty Juanera, a podcast for potheads. Make sure that you tune in to Ladies Night Radio at TGN Latinx.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Mysterious Jax from Ladies Night Radio Show. That's right, the entertaining, fun show with cheeseman, hot topics, and just all girl talk. This show is for the ladies, so make sure you catch it every Friday at 7:30 with me and my ladies, only on TGN Latinx.
What's up, friends? It's Iron Friends. We're here at the Podcast Pit LA. It was so fun. We came to rep the IE. I think we did a pretty good job. So shout out to the Podcast Pit for having us. Shout out to TGN. You guys should definitely check them out. You should check me out, Saul V. Gomez.
Y'all can find me at I Know Caesar on IG. You can find me at airbear_IE on IG.
And you guys can find the podcast at Iron Friends on every social media network, except for OnlyFans. That's coming soon. So stay tuned. So follow us and follow TGN Podcast Pit. Have a good day, guys.
Wozy, it's Deshaun Showtime Watkins, and you can tune in to Compton Mania Monday nights, 9 o'clock on TGN. Wozy, only on TGN Sports.
Hey, Michael, that's a dope-ass shirt. What is that?
You know what it is. I only rock the Flyers gear, and the Flyers gear can be found with TGN Radio.
Where did you get it?
TGNradio.net. Go onto the page, click TGN Shop Store, and you can get everything you need.
I'm getting mine right now. Make sure y'all do the same. Go get your TGN merch. Enjoy your show.
We interrupt your regular scheduled program to bring you this ratchet announcement. What's up? It is Kelvin Unique, one half of the Get Right Radio show that happens each and every Sunday live right here on TGN Talk. Do not miss it because we're about to get you right.
Hey everyone, it's the Primos Chidos.
Hopefully you're enjoying this show, but if it sucks, be sure to check out our show, live Thursdays at 12.
Yeah, join me and my sister and basically my brother as we discuss everything from immigration to ejaculation.
If that sounds interesting, then we're the show for you.
Warning, the following podcast features discussion of sensitive topics, graphic content, and uncensored stupidity. Unless otherwise stated, the featured content is not discussed by professionals.
If that sounds interesting, then we're the show for you.
Warning, the following podcast features discussion of sensitive...
All right. Welcome back, everybody, for the final half hour of CZALEO Knows It All, episode 15, Extravaganza. All right, man. First and foremost, shout out to everybody out there watching us, man. Shout out to everybody out there working hard, everybody out there doing their thing. God bless you all. All right, let's take that off. Let's take it off. Okay, boom, here we go. All right, man. Welcome back. CZALEO with my boy Marlon. This segment, this part of the show, we're actually gonna get to know our boy Marlon here, who came to visit us today, coming live from us. Are you in Oxnard right now or San Diego?
I'm in San Diego, sir.
All right, he's in San Diego, man. All right, so hold on. Let me play you the intro. I'll give you the right intro, big dog. Now, homie, what you all about? Marlon? All right, man. First and foremost, Marlon, what do you do, big dog? What is your title?
Well,
how would you like to be known?
My full-time job out here in San Diego is I do behavior therapy for kids with autism.
Oh, wow, man.
In my spare time, I'm a hip-hop artist, and I also have a podcast.
That's right.
I'm an advocate for mental health, and I'm an advocate for autism and hip hop, you know.
Shout out to Marlon. He was the first person to put me on, dog, to put me on the radio, dog, or put me interview me or some shit like that, man. So much love to you, big dog. Put me on a podcast, dog. So I got my boy here, man. All right, Marlon. Hey, did we land on the moon?
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did, for sure.
I'm not sure. I'm not kidding.
Okay, why so? I mean, why would you lean that way?
It's debatable. There's some documentaries that can prove us otherwise. But you know, you're right. I'm not sure these days. I thought we did.
Okay, that's how you feel. Okay, fine. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so another question is, where you from, fool?
I was born in the Philippines, but I grew up in Oxnard.
Okay, and how was Oxnard like, dog?
You know what? When I moved there in 1995, the gang culture was prevalent, and it was 60% Hispanics, 40% Filipinos in my side of town.
Okay.
So it was intertwined, and we influenced each other. Each other's culture influenced each other. But
Okay.
I graduated in 2003, moved to Orange County, went to Cal State Fullerton. That's where I met your bro.
That's right. You good friends with my little bro Chris. Everybody, Cal State. Shout out to the Cal State Fullerton, which is not as tight as Cal State Northridge, but you know. We're the Harvard of the West. You guys could be like Brown. You're like Brown of the West.
Back in 09, 010, it was just hard to find a job, so I found a job in San Diego. You know, I had no idea. I had no experience working with kids with autism, but I learned quickly.
Okay, and is that a rewarding work, man? Do you feel like what you do makes a difference?
Yeah, man, it's been 13 years, and I'm still learning a lot about autism, learning a lot about school districts and how they work with these kids, and learning a lot about what affects them at the home, because I've worked at both, at the house and at the home, you know.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
What's up with
It's a
Filipinos and their obsession with basketball? Where does that come from?
You know what? They just
Is
love
it
it.
true?
The country just loves it, in the Philippines especially. It's a big boxing in Philippines. It's a big boxing and basketball country.
Right. Basketball super. Have they ever had anybody close to the NBA?
There's some Filipino Americans that played in.
Okay.
I forgot his name though, but he was in Portland. He was half
Okay.
Filipino, half white.
Okay, tight. Well, have you ever? Is the league over there like super live? Like you go to basketball games over there, and is it like crazy, like the way soccer games are in Latin America?
Yes, the PBA. Yes, it's pretty lit.
It gets lit. Oh man, I imagine it must be super fun, dude. All right, another question: did you ever almost join a gang growing up?
I
You
would
ever
think
played with
about
that
it.
idea?
I thought about it, but I didn't.
You never did. Why? What kept you from taking that next step?
Everybody was getting sent to juvie by the time we hit high school or junior high. Just people got into drugs early.
Right. And that wasn't attractive to you? Right.
Crystal meth early.
Oh shit, crystal meth. People were doing crystal meth. Damn, man, that's some serious shit. I need people who were smoking weed.
You know.
Okay, crazy, man. Okay, LA Gal. Oh, let me say, no, you're not really LA cat, so I'm gonna ask you that one. Okay, if you 3 upgrades, if you could live your life all over again, right? But you get 3 upgrades. What 3 upgrades would you do to your life, living it over?
Probably would have went straight for my master's and took no breaks.
Okay, nice. No break, straightforward. Are you okay? Nice.
Would have paid off my college loans quicker.
Okay, nice. Okay.
I probably would have moved to San Diego earlier.
Then you probably would have moved to San Diego earlier. Okay, so you have nice. Now, why?
Because I think after college, it was a good 2 years of trying to figure out what's next. I think working with kids with autism gave me some purpose. But of course, hip hop music and where my career took me, just still doing music, and I can't believe sometimes I surprise myself that I'm still doing it too. You know.
Right. All right, no, man, but perseverance, dog. Perseverance pays off, dog. All right. People from Oxnard, do they root for LA teams, or is it automatic like LA fans, or do they kind of split?
Dodgers and Lakers.
Dodgers and Lakers fans. Okay, sorry.
Yes.
Okay, tight. Is Jollibee good? Should I go to Jollibee?
You better.
Yeah, I still haven't tried it, dog. I try everything. I still haven't tried Jollibee. Have you tried it, Matthew?
No, never. I've never tried it. I always see like the funny meme, but I know there's one right there on LA, right there. Like,
there's a few now, dog. I
yeah.
know. I always drive down to 10 and I see them all over the place, dog. Well, what's it comparable to? Is it?
It's like Popeye's chicken, but with spaghetti.
With spaghetti? What? Oh, that's crazy, dog. That's freaking nuts, dog. Okay, dog. So you recommend it then?
Yup.
Okay, dope.
Go
dog.
to Carson. There's some in Carson. There's a lot in Carson.
Okay, tight, man.
I think there's 2 in Carson.
2. Okay, let me see. Okay. Another question I got for you. If you ruled the world, what would you change?
Shit. If I ruled the world, man, I would make healthcare free.
You make healthcare free. Nice, man. He's such a good heart, man. Look at this guy, man. Working healthcare free, working with autistic kids. We need more people like you, Marlon, in this world, dog. That's what you would do? That's awesome, dog. That's awesome, dog. Anything else? How about something selfishly? You can only do something for yourself.
I'd pay off all my debts and taxes and all this shit.
Nice, dog. Nice. All right, Marlon. Tight, dog. Tight, dog. You got it, big dog. That's what you would do. Okay. Now, let me see one more question that I got from my guy here. Are you a religious person, Marlon?
I used to be, or sometimes I it's ups and downs, you know?
Okay. So right now you're like in between, is what you would say?
I have a relationship with God.
Okay,
I don't
wonderful.
know if-
That's the most important. All right. And last question. Have you ever been in a fight?
I have.
All right. And how'd it go?
Last time I got in the fight was probably fifth or sixth grade over
great.
basketball.
Great. Over basketball. Huh? You gotta hold your ground, big dog. You gotta let the fools know, dog. All right, man. So that does it for our getting to know Marlon section. Great job, Marlon. You survived. All right, guys. Now we actually flipped it on you guys. Usually we do Hollywood tales and then we get to know you, but today we flipped it on y'all. Okay, so you never know what to expect here on CZALEO Knows It All. All right, we're gonna flip it on y'all. Okay, we're gonna flip it ourselves because even we don't realize what we do. All right, here we go, big dog. Now we're gonna move on to the Hollywood tales. Okay, as you guys know, Hollywood. I've always told you guys it's a unique place to me, right? It's when I say Hollywood, I mean the South End, Los Angeles. It's a unique crossroads of people and places. And so today I actually thought about, because they've all been kind of dark, right? They've all been, they've all ended up in death. Those stories that I've told. So then, I'll think about keeping it more positive. And I bet you people are going to say like, nah, go back to the death. But I'm going to try it because I know human nature, right? But I'm going to try the positivity, right? So today I have a Hollywood Tales is about a person that did great things in this town that I feel is not talked about enough, right? It was a gentleman by the name of Tom Bradley. Does anybody know who Tom Bradley is? Do people remember Tom Bradley? Tom Bradley was the mayor of Los Angeles, right? He served like a 20-year term between the 70s and the 90s. He was he's the first mayor that I remember. Right. When I think of LA, the first person I always think of is Tom Bradley. Right. If you're an international person, right. If you ever traveled internationally, where do you go?
Tom Bradley.
Tom Bradley International, international terminal. Right. That's the internet. If you ever wondered who that guy was, right. I'm the kind of person that I do wonder who those people are when I go places. That's who he was, right? So Tom Bradley, he actually grew up he's from another state and he moved out here. He went to Poly High out in Sun Valley. Shout out to my people out there in the valley. Then he ended up going to UCLA. From UCLA, he ended up becoming a police officer, right? And there he kind of went up the ranks, right? He was did a lot of elections, right? He kept losing, right? But eventually he got the term there in Los Angeles, right? And he proceeded over the 1984 Olympics, right? Which is a big time in LA's history. Here he is with Muhammad Ali, right? He was just an influential person, right? And I feel like I feel like he's totally like forgotten. People rarely talk. Nobody ever remembers Tom Bradley, right? He showed that we've been progressing for a long. He's another argument that I always make. It's that people forget. I feel people conveniently forget these things, right? Like he was the mayor of LA for a long time. He was a Democrat. He was a black man, right? He did a great job to me. It was like a golden era of Los Angeles, if you ask me, right? I mean, the crack area was not so good, right? But certain other things, went well, right, or went differently that they're going now. Tom Bradley is a man who accomplished many things, right? Towards the end of his career, right, he kind of what really killed him was the LA riots, right? The LA riots, he was on the side of the people, right? He felt that the jury did the wrong thing, right? But he wasn't able to control it. He felt like that was really like, he kind of took it personal, like a slap in the face, like it was kind of like his loss of control of things, right? But Tom Bradley was an interesting person, right? Who won many in the election, right? He ran for governor a few times and he lost, right? He never really got past the LA scene, right? But like I said, right, just an interesting guy. Does anybody else remember Tom Bradley? Matthew?
Yeah.
I really don't remember Tom Bradley, to be honest with you. The only, like you mentioned, the only thing that I remember is what terminal is it, Mo?
Right.
Which one do I have to pick you up?
You know what? I'll tell you.
Tom Bradley.
I'll tell you something that we've all seen that if you're gonna remember is those he preceded the city decoration for the Olympics. Have you been down the freeway and you remember like the one that we said that looked like you, Matthew?
Yeah.
You guys seen that if you go to downtown LA, even there in Inglewood, there's the one, it was on 405, I think they cut it off, but those Olympics and all the freeways had all those Olympic murals for many years.
The
right?
101, I think.
The 101 has them, a lot of them.
Right
The 405 had them and they cut them off and now they went to other places, right? But those were all during Tom Bradley's reign, right? That's always I remember him in that era, right, of Los Angeles. Looks like we had some comments. Our C-Fest was the best. I was going back to yeah, that's right. I do remember C-Fest. C-Fest. I haven't seen nice C-Fest to this day. That's right. Oh, here we go. We got one for Marlon. Do Filipinos consider themselves Asian or Pacific Islanders?
Both. A lot of people will say Asian, but to be really specific, we'll say Pacific Islander too.
Okay, time, man. Which one do you lean more towards, or both?
To be honest, when they ask you to like cross stuff off and pick, I just say Asian.
Okay, nice, man. Nice, man. That's interesting, Doug. But yeah, so my guy Tom Bradley, right? Tom Bradley was the mayor of Los Angeles. You know, he presided over an LAPD that, you know, sometimes people said had kind of a heavy hand, right? But, you know, crime rates weren't what they are now. Whenever you get a chance, though, look into my guy Tom Brady. Like I said, he was an interesting person, a person that I feel needs kind of more coverage, right? You know what's funny? I try to look into more stuff, but he wasn't really controversial or like heroic, right? He was kind of somewhere in between, right? Just a civil servant, right? Because just, you know, if there was dirt, I figured like you would have found it, right? I figured I would have found it. You know what? Another thing that he reminds me of a lot is he just reminds me of like Black Los Angeles, right? Like, and that's I feel like a place that I grew up in. Like I grew up in classic Black LA. I'm talking about, you know, like Jim Hill, dog. Or you remember the movie Rocky IV when Apollo's in the pool, right? And he's like playing with the dogs, like with the or even like O.J. Simpson. Like there was like this era of like classic Black Los Angeles in like the 70s and the 90s, like 80s, where it's like just the music, dog, and just like he's part of it, right? He's part of like the success story. In my eyes, like I've always seen it as Black excellence, right? Like I really don't like the reason I don't like all these point of views today, because they look back in the past like if nobody succeeded. Like if it's been from the 60s to now and it's just been struggle and poverty. It's not true. Like my life has been surrounded by Black excellence, you know, all my life, and it's great. You know, people, it's not just stories. There's people like Tom Bradley, you know what I'm saying, who overcame, who were the mayor for 20 years. You know,
have you guys watched the Lakers?
You know,
the Lakers show? Have you guys watched the Lakers show? The Lakers series? Like
I haven't. Does it come out in
the Lakers first season? It was called Winning Season or something. But
yeah,
it shows Lakers in the 70s in the prime time when
the old LA,
the Palm Beach and all that, the palm trees, and
right,
just the way LA was when he first came to the city.
Right, like or like you ever watch the old episodes of Chips? Chips has like that old Los Angeles, like it looks like such a fun place, dog. You know, like you understand why everybody from other states would come out here, right? And I feel like Tom Bradley just reminds me of that. Like, he reminds me of what, like, because LA, Black Los Angeles we're losing it, to be honest with you, to people like us, to Central Americans, right? To Latino Americans, right? A lot of old LA Black folks are moving to Palmdale, right? A lot of them are moving to Riverside, right? But it's changing, right? And I just feel that this reminds me of another, kind of like that era where like that Jackie Brown era, right? You ever seen that movie Jackie Brown from? I'm sure that if I had Quentin Tarantino here, he would agree with me, dog. I bet you Quentin Tarantino will know exactly who the fuck I'm talking about, right? He probably have a story about him, man. But yeah, Tom Bradley, he actually ended up dying of a heart attack, I believe, like in the 1990s. You know, I'll tell you exactly when he died of a heart attack. He had a stroke in 96 and died in 98 at the age of 80 years old. So yeah, and like I said, the riots were really something that affected him really negatively towards the end of his life and kind of his legacy, right? But I remember him fondly. May he rest in peace. Shout out to his family and anybody out there that is related to him. Tom Bradley, the Hollywood tale of the day. We'll go back to scandal and murder next week. All right. Thank you, guys. All right, guys. So we're actually coming towards the end of the show, episode 15 here. It's been a great episode. We have my boy Marlon checking in. We got my boy Matthew on the ones and twos. All right. So this is a segment that I like to call the recap, right? This is a place where we can kind of bring up stuff that from other weeks that we might have, corrections and retractions. I know Marlon said you wanted to bring up something more about, you said the things that COVID killed was a hip hop.
Oh, we were just talking about the things that the pandemic has changed. I know it took a while for the music industry to recover, to get the shows rolling again, and just to reconfigure how we release music. And we had to get creative, man. We had to make podcasts. We had to make radio shows. We had to make IG live shows to stay relevant during the whole time a lot of the shows were canceled. So
right,
I think it was a good thing. It got us on our toes to think quicker and think outside the box, how to get out there, you know?
Right. Another thing that got killed, I think CNN. CNN is over, right? Their prestige, right? Their their place in the marketplace, right? They're kind of over too, right? Who else? Who else suffered from the what chains didn't come back? Chuck E. Cheese, I heard. Did Chuck E. Cheese ever come back, or are they coming back?
They're still around.
They're still around. Okay.
Yeah, they're still
I heard
around.
that they were gone. I heard something that they did during that they were slick, like during the pandemic, what they would do, like for Uber, they would put themselves on Uber Eats, but as something else. They would call themselves like Showtime Pizza. So people would like order, not knowing that it was Chuck E. Cheese pizza. So that's how they maintain. That's smart, dog, because you wouldn't order Chuck E. Cheese pizza, right? But if you see a special, if you're like, oh, I'm gonna order pizza on the app, and you see like a good price, and you're like, oh, I can get that, and they just call it and they get it delivered, right? So pretty interesting. I thought another thing I want to correct, man, from the show last week about Jonathan Brandis. Remember the guy we did the Hollywood Tales on? I think I said that he was from Kentucky. He was from Connecticut. He actually grew up in Connecticut, then came out to Los Angeles. So that's something I did incorrectly, right? Is there anything else that we want to recap? Anything of the subjects that we brought up today, like about the Great Replacement, right?
Can I plug in some of the events coming up?
Oh yeah, go for it, Marlon. Go for it.
Yo, to all my hip hop heads out there, if you guys want to check out the show, June 24th at McGee Sports Bar and Grill at Commerce with Roblast the One, Jenny Jones will be there from 9 p.m. to closing time. And for all those tuning in, I'll be doing an IG live interview for Diggin' Daily. If you can just follow me on Instagram at MDLens. All my links for my Spotify, Apple Music, for my music, and for my podcast is on there. Thank you for tuning in, guys.
All right, dope, dog. My boy MD Lens Marlon, man. So check him out. Everything he said right there, it's super dope. Anything you want to bring up, Matthew?
No, thank you for letting me be once again a guest engineer. Hopefully we can bring customer service back.
Oh,
that's
man,
my
me
ask,
too,
because yeah, maybe a little raise right there. Where they're the front line.
Right, man. Extras.
They're
right?
extra, yeah. A
That's
lot
like,
of people don't pay attention to customer service.
It goes a long way, big dog. It really makes the difference, especially when you're out there paying good money. Like I said, el que paga manda. Okay, he who pays says. That's not proper English. All right. So okay. So what else did I want to touch on today? Okay, so I want to give some shout outs before we go. We actually got about a couple of minutes, but let me get these shout outs in right now that I can. Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Hermano Matthew, you're a father, man. There is no better holiday, man. I hope everybody enjoyed their Father's Day, man. I hope everybody took time to think about their fathers, right? Hope time to take them out or to at least say hi to them. If you're asking me, man, that's the number one holiday, that needs to be kind of brought back, and it's important, right? Because fathers make a difference, right? Fathers guide families, right? Fathers are the head of the household. Fathers keep a lot of people out of trouble, and I think a lot of the society's woes would be fixed if we didn't replace the father with the government. Okay, especially people of our class, right? With a lot of people in our class ranges, right, in our poverty levels or richness levels, is that right? They lack father figures. I think if fathers were more involved in the fathers make families, families make community, communities make countries. Okay, so happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Everybody doing a good job, right? And I know a lot of people, even the single moms, right, that are not the dads, right? But you're doing a good job, good job. Props to you, right? It's just funny, all those fathers that you get all those memes about the single. Here come the single moms trying to take credit for Father's Day. Those are hilarious. You know what's funny is that it's funny. It shows also how we all have like different rabbit holes. I showed my wife, I was like, have you been seeing this? And she was like, I haven't seen any of these. I'm like, that's crazy. My world is filled with memes like this, right? And her world is like, doesn't have one meme, towards that, man. So did you get a chance to spend with your pops, Marlon? Is your pops in your life?
I gave my pops a text. He's in the Philippines right now.
Okay,
but he's doing good.
Yeah, man. I shout out to all the OGs, man. There's nothing like getting wisdom for older folks too, man. I always tell people, right? If you can hang around older men, you should, man. Always get some game. You're always gonna get some wisdom, and then they also want to give, right? You always can tell that they're anxious to give you their world knowledge, right? Because wherever you're going, they already came from, and it's tough to know, man. It's not useless info. It's actually real world life info more than you're gonna get in a book or in a YouTube video. So check that out, man. That's dope. Like I said, we're gonna have the podcast piss coming up. CZALEO Knows It All, my first live show on July the 11th there in Culver City. We're gonna have more information coming up about that. Oh, this weekend we're gonna TGN. We're gonna be hosting. We're not gonna be hosting. We're gonna be there interviewing folks at the Chingona community event. So be on the lookout for that. We're gonna be there doing one-on-ones and then doing the whole red carpet thing, which is pretty dope, man. I'm excited about that. Check out Hank. Hank is gonna be back in about 2 weeks, right? He's doing his little vacation. Check him out online on his Instagram app. He has a lot of cool. He's out there with moose, kind of stuff. He had a head of a moose up there. I was like, damn. I was like, I take something funny. I was like, I remember when I killed my first moose. Have you ever been hunting, Matthew?
No, never been hunting. No.
Yeah, man. Hunting is something I want to do, dog. I want to. You know what, dog? I want to do that, dog. I want to know what it's like. I don't know. Does that make me barbaric, dog? That I want to know what it's like to like kind of like kill with my own hands. I don't know. I gotta do it, dog. I remember. You know what's something I remember? I remember there was like the life-changing moment when I went to El Salvador for the first time, dog. When I went to El Salvador for the first time, I was like, man, we're not in Kansas anymore, dog. I remember that I got there. Everybody's all fun. We see my mom. There's all these chickens. We're like, oh, we're seeing the old house. We're like, damn, there's all these chickens running around. It's all good, right? Then all of a sudden, dog, when it comes time to eat, dog, my grandma's like, oh, it's time to eat the chickens. And I'm like, oh, it's here. She gets the chicken, dog. She wraps it around, snaps the neck, dog. Like it was nothing, dog. Like snap. I was just like, I remember, I was like, oh my god, dog, this lady just killed this animal right here, dog. You know, I was like, this is not the United States, dog. You know, it's a trivial shit like that, man. All right, man. We're coming up on the last 2 minutes. Thank you guys, everybody, for checking in. We're gonna have another show next Tuesday and every Tuesday. Next week, I'm actually gonna have a great guest. I'm gonna have my comadre over. We're gonna have a female guest. Irene Quevedo, look out for her. She has a podcast called Level Up Latina, which is blown up on Apple. She's gonna do us a favor and give us some time to come give a different perspective. As you guys know, I always have my own type of perspective, right? So it's gonna be interesting to get a lady in here to kind of class up the joint. What do you think, man? That a good idea?
Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah.
What do you think, Marlon?
Good job.
All right, man. Good stuff, man. Thank you for hanging out with us, Marlon. We appreciate you, big dog. La Suprema. Check out our website. Check out our merch. Check out our Instagram page. Check out my Instagram page, which is CZALEO Knows It All. Thank you guys for being here. We'll see you guys next week. Questions, comments, or concerns?
MD Podcast, thank you.
All right, man. MD Podcast. Matthew, thank you for a great job.
Thank you for having me.
All right, man. TGN. Check out all the other shows too, man. TGN Talk. We have TGN Sports. We have the Good News Radio, man. It's a lot of brown and black voices really expressing themselves, man. A lot of really dope, creative people, man. Like I always say, man, I'm really happy to be part of this whole circle. Check out the app, guys. Check out all of our shows. You're gonna like it, man. There's a lot of bright people and a lot of exciting stuff happening here, man. So God bless. Stay positive. Stay focused. You can do this. Don't listen to all the nonsense. Keep your eyes open. Peace out.
Thanks, guys.